everybody, so the mail just came and ta-da! It's the May Sketchbox. So I thought I already had the camera set up. I was just filming a video, so I thought I might as well film opening this too. I have no idea what's in here. I have not looked at the videos or the homework or anything like that. I haven't been on social media. I've been really busy, so I literally have no idea what's in here. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Excuse my mess, I was literally just filming a video, so it's a little messy. Let's see what's inside. Okay, again, I'm not going to look at the cards. In fact, I'm going to shut my eyes and feel for the cards and just take them out and put them back here, so I have no idea what's in here. Okay. Okay, so this first thing says, Sketchbox Signature Wet and Dry Media 140 pound hot press. Well, hot press is my favorite to work on. That's interesting. 100% cotton even. It's a really pretty cream color inside. Look at that. That's really cool. A little tiny thing of 100% cotton watercolor paper. I wonder if there's watercolors in here. Oh, glimmer metallic ink. Hero Arts. Shake or stir well. Let's take this out and take a closer look at it. Ooh, it's in gold. Very pretty. So we've got a watercolor pad and some gold ink. Liquid graphite. I've never tried that. Welcome to a new world of graphite fun. It's like a water-soluble pencil in a bottle. Liquid graphite. Never even heard of it, let alone tried it. Okay, let's see what the next thing is. Ooh, it's some pencils. Let's see what's in here. It's in a little package. You can see the pencils in there. Let's see what's in here. Those two are stuck. We have some Faber-Castell Pitt Graphite Matte. 4 of those, and 1 Pitt Pastel Pencil in white. Huh. Matte graphite. I've heard of those, but not tried those yet either. I think this might be my favorite box so far. Pretty cool. Alright, nice metal pencil sharpener. Both big and small holes. It feels hefty. It feels like it's nice and heavy. Oh, here's the little sticker. Celebrating 8 years of supporting artists. And it's got a little liquid graphite. And we've got a Faber-Castell Perfection. I don't know what this is. It's got a brush on one end and like a pencil on the other. I'm not sure what that is. Focus! There we go. I'll have to read the little card because I'm not sure what this is. And one more thing, it feels like. Royal Majestic size 6. It must be a flat paintbrush. And it's kind of pointy on the end. Alright, let's take a look at these cards. These are some pretty cool supplies. Alright, let's see what this says. There we go. There's the artwork. And there's the info about the artist on the back. There's still some glare even though all my lights are off. It's because this room is all windows. And then the other one says Liquid Graphite Premium Box. The supplies are the Signature Liquid Graphite, the Hero Arts Glimmer Gold, the Faber-Castell Matte Graphite Pencil Set, and 2B, 4B, 10B, 14B, and a white soft pastel. The Royal Majestic Short Handle Shader Brush. So that's what that black one is. This one right here. Oh, this is the Faber-Castell Eraser Pencil. That's pretty cool. This is an eraser and then a brush for brushing off your surface. That is awesome. The Pacific Arc Pencil Sharpener and the Sketchbox Signature Cream Toned 100% Cotton Paper Pad. Here's the front of the card. And then there's the back. This might be my favorite box yet. Oops, I whacked the camera. Okay, I'm gonna clear this off and I'll be back in a second. Okay, you guys, so I've got all the supplies here. Let's check them out and see what we think. So, first things first, why don't we start by swatching our colors here. No surprise there. This is the Pitt pastel, which I have used and loved for a long time. And then 2B, 4B, 10B. Ooh, that's nice. And 14B. So we've got a nice range of colors there. Let's take a look at this here. Let's see if I can get this out with this. I've never tried liquid graphite before. Let's see what this looks like. So, straight out of the tube, it is pretty darn dark. Let's get some water. All right, I see this is drying already. Let's see if we can. Interesting, okay. Okay, let's check out this gold ink now. All right, now let's try this. Let's put a little dab here. So my paintbrush here is mostly dry, so that's very shimmery and pretty. And what happens if we dip some in the water and pull it out? So maybe this liquid graphite is possibly our darkest black. Let's see what happens if we do 2 layers of this. So that's probably going to be our darkest dark. There's a little boy standing here next to me, trying to see how close he can get to my filming area without being in it. All right, all right. Okay, stop for a second. So this is the May box, and anytime I think of May, I instantly think of May the 4th and Star Wars. So let's see if we can't do something with that, huh? Okay, I think I want to work on something bigger than this. So I'm going to get out something big and we'll see what happens. I've got my just piece of copy paper here. I'm going to draw my sketch on here and then transfer it to some other paper. I'm thinking maybe my Fabriano Studio, which is good for pencils, or possibly my Strathmore Bristol Vellum. We'll see. First, we'll see if this sketch even turns out. So the first thing I like to do is just make some marks for where I think the main features should be. So those are my marks. That's how I know what I'm doing. Now we just start to sketch everything in and hope for the best. So while I'm sketching here, I wanted to talk a little bit about accuracy in sketching. You saw me making the marks there to show where the edges of all the main features were. That's how I make sure things are as accurate as I can. I'm sure you've seen other people doing marks like that. Lots of times people will have one straight down the midline of the face and then one across where the eyes are, and I do that sometimes. But lots of times I'll just do marks on like the outside edges of the nose and both sides of the eyes and, you know, the edges of the lips and the face and stuff like that. But I've been doing this for a long time, a really long time. When I was beginning, I did all of the marks, like all the way across, not just, you know, like across the top of the lips. It would go all the way across the face. And I did do the one down the middle and the one through the eyes. That's especially helpful if you're doing like a 3/4 view or like any sort of view where the head is slightly rotated so that you can make sure you get everything correct that way. I spent what my husband called a ridiculously long time doing the sketch, but the problem with drawing people, and especially if you want it to look like who you're drawing, it's really easy to get something wrong. And in fact, near the end of my work, I thought it was done,
because everything looked like it lined up right, but I realized I had shaded the planes of the face wrong, which made him look like he had a narrower face than he does in reality. Everything was right, like distance-wise. It was just strictly the shading. Faces are really hard to get right, especially if it's someone super recognizable like Kylo Ren. So I spent a ton of time on the sketch to make sure it was accurate. So here I'm just showing again how I transfer a sketch. I actually photocopied it first because I didn't want to screw up my sketch in case I had to do this again. And then I just color on the back with a pencil, and then I trace over it with a ballpoint pen. And it's helpful to use a color that's different than pencil so that you can see where you've traced and where you haven't. It transfers very well.
I'm just using my kneaded eraser to lighten up these lines a little bit. And now, before we move on to using our Sketchbox stuff, I'm just going to use a regular pencil to clean this up a little bit. So as you saw, I did multiple sketches of Kylo Ren. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. It's been a long time since I've done a person. I liked this sketch the best. This one's pretty good too, but I transferred this one to the paper here. And we will just build up our background slowly as we go, or build up our tone slowly as we go and see what happens. All right, let's tape this down. I'm just gonna eyeball it. No need to be super perfect on this one.
So what I'm doing is just starting with my lightest pencil and putting in the tones of the skin. I'm putting light layers and then blending it with blending stumps. Here I'm doing the eyes. Other than the hair and the eyebrows, the eyes are the darkest dark of the face. So I always like to do the lightest light, which is going to be the bridge of his nose, and the darkest dark first, so that I know that everything else will fall in between those two shades. That's called creating a key or keying out your painting or drawing. The hair ends up, the hair is really dark, so it was a little bit hard to judge the tones without the hair. And in fact, after I put in the hair, I had to go back and redarken everything, even the nose, which was supposed to be the lightest light. So, it is what it is. The hair, I was afraid to do the hair, so I left it, which turned out to be a good instinct because I really hated the hair after I did it, and I ended up having to make some adjustments to the piece, which you will see at the end. So, I did the best I could with the darks that I put in. They probably should have been a little bit darker. Also, almost right from the beginning, I screwed up the shape of that left eye, my left, which I then have to go back in later and fix. So that was off right from the very beginning, and I didn't figure out what it was right away, so I knew something was off on that side, so I spent a lot of time fiddling around trying to figure out what it was that was off on that side. But I did get it in the end. The left eye, the length of the nose, and the lips all gave me a little bit of trouble. Adam Driver has really full lips for a man. And here you can see me standing the painting up and putting it against the back wall, or not painting, drawing. That's just so I can see how it looks from a distance. If you keep it up close to your face the whole time, you can get really focused in on the minute details, when really most of the time people aren't even going to see that once it's hanging up. So it's good to put it up against the wall and walk away. Also, at some point in here, I don't know if it's here or later on, you'll see me turn the whole thing upside down and work on it upside down. That's another good way to make sure you have the shapes right in a sketch or painting. Turn the whole thing upside down. It sort of makes your brain have to look at it from a different angle, and you can often see what's not right. And also another thing you can do is go and look at it in a mirror so that it's backwards. That will often also point out mistakes too that you hadn't realized that you made. So here I'm just putting in some of the shadows under the chin. I had a really hard time getting the darkest darks with these pencils. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was the paper I was working on. I wished it had gone just a little bit darker. The liquid graphite is darker than the pencil, but I don't realize that till later.
Well, I can't really judge the rest of the face until I get the darkness of the hair and the shirt in, and I am afraid to. I'm afraid I'm gonna screw it up, people. I think I'm gonna take a break for a second and walk away and come back and do the hair in a little bit. Okay, bye.
Okay, so I'm starting to put the hair in here, and man, I don't know. I had the movie paused on my iPad, and maybe it wasn't the best spot to pause it. I liked his face, but his hair looked extra flowy and, I don't know, styled. I read somewhere that there were actually combs inside his helmet, and so that every time he took his helmet off, that's how his hair was always so perfect. I don't know if that's true or not, but I could see that maybe, especially from the paused part of the movie I was drawing from. I don't know if you know, but like Disney, if you have Disney Plus, they don't let you take screenshots. There's something built in Netflix too, I think, where you can't take screenshots. So I didn't have like a reference photo to work from. And his hair was sort of not lit well, and there wasn't a lot of detail, and it was sort of blending into the background. So I did the best I could, but it turned out very Fabio-esque. Like he should be on the cover of a romance novel. Yeah, so I end up really not liking it, but you'll see what I do in the end. So now I have the liquid graphite out, and I'm trying to darken it up with this liquid graphite. The liquid graphite is very dark, and I needed that dark for his hair, but it's also not erasable. So once I started going in with that, there was no going back. And here you can see I'm adjusting some of the shadows on his face. I realized that things aren't as dark as they should be once the hair starts to get, really dark. And I can tell that there's starting to be some mistakes. Here's some more of the liquid graphite going in. That one piece on my left side that's going up like a horn really bothers me. I think maybe if that piece hadn't been there, and then also how it's just like straight back in a swoop from his forehead. I mean, that just isn't right. It doesn't look right. It was too, I don't know, Farrah 70s-ish. I don't know. Here I'm working on the eyes again. I know at this point that there's something wrong with the eyes, but I haven't figured out what it is. And see, there I am flipping it upside down, trying to figure things out. It turns out that this actually made it worse. I made the mouth look weird. It looked good upside down. So when I flipped it back around, I clearly could tell I had screwed up the mouth, and I think I stopped working for a while at that point because I needed a break. That's another good thing to do when you're working on something for a long period of time. If you start to make a lot of mistakes, it's time to take a break. So get up, stretch your legs, walk around, do something else. Yeah, that mouth looks a little weird there. I'm not sure what I did. The bottom lip looks like it's sticking out too far. I do fix that too as well. Here comes some more of the graphite, the liquid graphite. That is not erasable. There's no going back. Yeah, oh well. It turns out all right in the end, I promise. I like it a lot at the end.
Okay, you guys, I was up during the night and I worked on this a little bit more because I couldn't sleep. And I didn't film it because everybody else was asleep and I didn't want to wake anybody up. And I also came to the realization that I really don't like his hair. I don't like it. I've got the bottle of graphite. I've got the gold ink. I'm wondering if I should just, like, make it abstract and brush them around the edges and see what happens. I mean, what else? I don't have anything to lose, so I think I'm going to try it and see what happens. Alright, so I've got my palette here. I have some water. I'm going to shake both of these and fill up some wells and just see what happens. I'm gonna maybe dilute some of the graphite to start and see what I think. I hate the hair. I hate it. He looks like Fabio. This is my Strathmore Vellum Bristol board, so I'm not sure how well it's going to accept. I know it accepts like an ink wash fine, but like I said before, I've never used graphite, so I don't know.
I'm just going to speed this up here a little bit. The liquid graphite, when it wasn't diluted, was kind of sticky, and I could feel it dragging on my brush, so that's something you should know. But otherwise, the gold ink and the graphite, I think, really made this look a lot better. I felt a lot better.
All right, let's let that dry and see what happens. Okay, let's peel this tape off and see if we like it or not. I like this version a lot better. I'm glad I added the gold. So I used everything in the Sketchbox except for the white pastel pencil, which, you know, I've used before. And in fact, when I only add the Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils, I bought one of these because this one's really good for details. If you're doing pastel work, better than the Stabilo Carbothello. So I do recommend that as well. Whoops. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I'm glad I added the gold. I hope you had a lot of fun watching this, and happy Star Wars month, and may the 4th be with you. Until next time, happy creating.